Right, welcome everyone. Welcome to our second Sitecore Cincinnati User Group meetup. Today we're going to be talking about Sitecore Experience Profile and also Sitecore PowerShell extensions. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys know what PowerShell extension is, and Marty is going to be coming in to blow our socks off to show what PowerShell can do with Sitecore. Okay. All right, so what's our agenda looks like, first 30 minutes, we just did our networking session and opening remarks. Well, this is our first Sitecore, second Sitecore meetup. The first one, John was gracious his presence and kicked off our meetup and then gave out his Sitecore story about how he what is his lifespan in the Sitecore company? He's been with Sitecore for over 10 years or so, and then what are the things he has done. It was a great session, actually. Hope everyone liked that one. So here's we are for our second session. So what we're going to be talking about presenting today is experience profiles, and what's an experience profile, and a little bit in-depth analysis of it. With Sitecore A, the whole analytics is a little different. So understanding on how the experience profile works, what's a contact card is, what's an interaction is. Let's kind of take a little depth analysis and identify the flow, what the process looks like. And then Marty is going to be talking about Sitecore PowerShell extension. And as you guys, I don't know if you guys know that Marty has put together a module in Marketplace to enhance how you can build a module with Sitecore PowerShell extensions, and it's a very handy tool. Every Sitecore developers must know how to use that. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. So Marty will show us what that is about. I'll wrap it up with some Q&A sessions and closing remark, and we can finish up with pizza as well. All right. Moving on. Sitecore experience profile and in-depth analysis. Well, starts with an experience profile. What is an experience profile? Experience profile is a UI framework, a functionality that is available. In the previous, it was called Sitecore Analytics, where you can go and look at your latest visitors and things like that. Whereas experience profile is a little an evolution where it can show you the visitor information as well as the contact details of the visitor, their interactions with your website and how they have done. And it's like the experience profile enables marketers, the sales team, executive team to monitor the key areas of customer experience and interactions like latest visits, how the goals are getting triggered, and how many engagement points they are seeing, all in like one place. Before, in Sitecore Analytics, you have to dig a little bit deeper to see what's happening, whereas in Experience Profile, you can see them all in one-stop shop. All right, so what is a contact? A contact is a person or a visitor coming to the site, playing with the site, and going through and what do you call what they can come in with any type of devices, or like a mobile browser or a mobile device, or like in a different channel. They click on a link in an email campaign or something like that. All those information can be seen in the contact. It's like a website visitor who signs up to a newsletter, or a website visitor that logins with their username and password, or you just load a list from CRM into the contact. So each and every individual is called a contact. So here's an example of what the XDB contact document looks like. So I'm not sure how many of you has played with Mongo database. Within the Mongo, you can see how the contact document looks like, whereas you can see their work email shows up here, their personal information shows up here, and also it also shows their behavior profiles, their pattern card, the activity on their site match the persona that we have defined within our website, and what pattern they matches, how much engagement value they are gained by navigating through the site. All those information can be seen in the HTTP content, which also using the aggregation processing server, it will aggregate those data into the reporting database to be used by the experience profile. Right? Now, what's an interaction? Interaction is the way in which the contact or a customer communicates or engages with an organization. That's more like a visitor coming to a site using into a campaign landing page. That's an interaction. Or a visit to your website that originates from a social media link. They click a link, they come to your website, that's an interaction. Or they click a like button within in a social media. Like you have a page where you have a social link, tweeted or Facebook, when they click on it, that's an interaction. All those interactions get stored in Sitecore, and you will be able to see those type of interactions in the experience profile as well. Here's an example of a contact that has been established, where you can see some of the contact name, Captain Nishket, their email address, their latest visit. The latest visit event section shows up only their latest visit, whereas the activity tab shows them all their activities, all their interactions that will happen for this contact. That shows that. Profiling tab shows you, we'll go them in more in details, but you can see some of them in here where profiling tab shows them the pattern card they're matching, how much engagement values they gain, and things like that. We'll talk about that in more in detail here. Okay, moving on. All right, how does the analytics data flow between XDB and the reporting data? This is with Sitecore 8. The separation of the analytics database is now a combination of Mongo database collection. The collection database exists in the Mongo, and whereas the reporting database exists in SQL Server. And this happens when a visit is on the site and the session ends. When the session ends, until the session ends, all the data are stored in the memory cache. And then when the session ends, it flushes the data into the Mongo database, the collection database. And then the aggregation server runs, which takes the Mongo collection data information and aggregate them and put them in the reporting database. Well, here's an interesting one where analytics data flow. Thanks to Nick Wesselman. I'm not sure how many of you guys know what Nick is. Nick is a Sitecore MVP for a very long time. He has done a very deep dive about experience database about a year ago, and he has a very big a blog that talks about different part series. I think there's about 5 parts or 6 parts. One of them has this slide that talks about how this analytics data flow work, and this is a visual representation of it. But actually, he did a meetup in Milwaukee, the developer session there, where he actually talks about how this works. So let's go to that presentation and then watch that. All right. So I wanted to minimize that. Make sure my audio is low.
Take you guys end to end of what we just walked through, basic idea of analytics data flow. So here we have a diagram of probably 2 data centers, say across continents, with a load balancer at each and 2 content delivery servers at each, and then a centralized reporting database, either at another data center or, as we'll see, in the cloud hosted in Sitecore. So first off, the user is directed to a data center by DNS. The user does need to go to a particular data center and have stickiness there because that's where the session server is. So Usually you do this through some fancy Cisco equipment for global load balancing through DNS, or maybe you just have localized URLs for your site that point to different data centers. The load balancer is going to direct the request to a particular server because ideally you're not using in-prod sessions now. You're using one of the two session providers. You only can enable sticky sessions. So you move freely between the servers and you can get a better balance of resource utilization between your CD servers. Any user interactions at that point, the pages, the events, and so on are going to get stored in that private session in the session database. And then the contact data is going to get stored in the shared session within the same database. Again, on session end, that data is going to get flushed to the collection database. And then the processing service is going to pick up that change and start to process that new data and aggregate it into the reporting database. And then our reports are going to read from the collection and the reporting databases.
So as you can see that, when all the user interactions, they all stored in the memory and the private session database. And until the session is ended, either the session times out or they close the browser or application will recycle the somewhere. When the session ends, it all goes to the collection database. And then from the collection database, the processing service runs where it aggregates the data, put them in the reporting database. And then when the experience profile, it reads the data from the collection database and as well as the reporting database to give us the more in-depth analytic reports for the content. Right? Let's go. Here's something when we saw that the session ends. When the session ends, it stores the data. How does it happen? Here's an example. Sorry, it's a little small. Make sure you check your Sitecore configuration, the pipeline called commit session pipeline. That's where the magic happens. And the commit session pipeline, when it gets executed, when the session ends, this commit session pipeline executes. And then there is the update GeoIP data. If the geo data is not current or something, it will go and based on the IP address, it will get the GeoIP data from the Sitecore GeoIP Services. And also there is the submit session. That's exactly where the methods where it actually puts the data into the XDB database Mongo, and then it also executes the processing server gets executed where it pulls the data from the collection database into the reporting database. Right? So what we're going to do today is to just run through a quick scenario and let's take a look at how this works. Like some of the scenarios that we have done is an anonymous visitor from Copenhagen. Well, how do they come from Copenhagen? This is where GeoIP spoofing works. And I don't know if you guys know what the GeoIP spoofing is. John West wrote a blog back in 2011 telling about how the spoofing works. So what we did was, just to make it simpler, Launch Sitecore is a package that is available that talks about all the different, is implemented by the Sitecore team to tell about how Sitecore 8 works with the different pages. They already established a profile call. They implemented several functionalities to show how the GeoIP works, and you can look at the page visits, you can look at what engagement values on real time, how are they getting accumulated. You can see them all in line in the website. So I downloaded the Sitecore 8 and also applied the Launch Sitecore package. And within that, there is GeoIP spoofing is also available. I have to make a quick change to it. So let me show you what that change means. You might want to switch off the light.
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see that from here, let me scroll a bit. There's a patch config file which patches in the start tracking pipeline. It patches a GeoIP spoof for localhost, so that I'm running this on my local machine, so it'll be like 127.0.0.1. So, but I want to spoof it so that I'm telling the Sitecore that I'm coming from Copenhagen. I have some bunch of IPs that I got it from the demo site. This 147.29.31.5 is a Copenhagen location, right? So I can spoof it, and then the patch file actually patches this processor right above the update GeoIP data pipeline, in the processor in the start tracking pipeline. And then there is also made some changes to the original code that came with this long site code under this pipeline. The code is pretty simple. All it does is it gets the IP address from the config file, right? And then the original code was like, anytime a visit comes with a local host, it updates it. But we wanted to mimic the user coming from a different location. So we have to modify it so that if the current interaction IP address is not same as the one that is already in the session, then you spoof it again. So that way we can have the visitor coming from Copenhagen, or the visitor goes to Paris or London, we can see all those interactions for that contact in the experience profile. That's what we're going to be playing with. And as you can see, all it does is gets the IP address that it needs to spoof, and then gets the address bytes from the address, and then apply that to the current interaction.ip. Then the next step is the update GeoIP data. So when the update GeoIP data process runs, it's going to get the IP address that we spoofed to go get the geo data for the location. So that's what we did. So let's go ahead and run some quick demo. Well, I've been playing with this demo site for a little while, and there are some previously established contacts. As you can see, for example, there are several anonymous visitors. That means that the anonymous visitor is like, that means they haven't logged into the site. They haven't registered. So since they haven't registered, it's still going to consider them as an anonymous. But as you can see here, this one registered the site. And when you open up the Captain Nishtag contact, it shows them the latest visit and the pattern that matches, the developer pattern or the detailed pattern. And it also shows the latest visit in here as well. And then the status, the stats for that particular visit. But when you look in the activity tab, it actually shows all the different activities happen for that contact. So this is where you can, this is the golden data, where you can, if you wanted to run some personalization for this visitor, they gained the different page views and they have achieved some engagement value for this one. You can click on each one of the visit, then the visit detail report shows you with this is the number 3 of the 5 visits, and they have done 7 page views, and how long they've been on the site, what engagement value they gained, and the different traffic channel, where did they come from, right? What campaign they triggered. This visit did not trigger any campaign, so that information is not here. And also any external keyword used. If it used, then it will then be stored here as well. And it shows you all the different pages they accessed and how long they were on the pages and things like that. And a little bit like what goal they achieved. So it looks like they visited this job function page, and that had a 5 engagement value of 5. So, or the goal, they clicked on the page, the goal get executed, so they get a 5-point engagement value for it. So let's kind of mimic the same process. To do that, I am going to go here. Just keep this open, and I'm going to have another browser opens up. So I'm going to go and kind of clear up my cache cookies so that we can say that this is a brand new visitor coming to the site. Let me do that quickly here. I'm just going to delete the site-specific cookie, and so that way it's a brand new visitor. And also, as you can see that the session needs to end. The session ends means right now as a default, the time on session we have on a web config is 20 minutes. I just for testing purpose changed it to 2 minutes. After the ideal time of 2 minutes, you can see that the data gets immediately visible on the XDB and also in the reporting database, and your experience profile will show you that data. So that's, I just did cleared my cookies. So browsing the site shows me the IP address. So let's kind of change the IP address here. So instead of going to Copenhagen, let me go to London. I'm going to change the IP address. Say that it's going to recycle the Apple as you know. Just let it run. Come on. Well, another thing is if your site gets recycled, Sitecore has a lot of speed obligation. They're all pre-compliant. So that's one of the reasons the site is kind of slow, as you can see that. I just came back, which is probably a minute, a little shy of a little over a minute. So let's start kind of browsing around. So let's go to a page here, we get started, and I can click on what's with the building a site, what is presentation means, and let's kind of go and look at what's in team, or looks our brand trial or friend, and see what it's all about. And let's go to a couple of the people here. Chris Castle, right? Let's go to glossary that talks about what's a content editor, is content tree. And as you can see here, this slide out, it shows you all the visit details. You know, before we have to go to the database or something to find out. So Sitecore guys have done it really well to show exactly how the Sitecore is meant to work. You can see the location, the IP information. Let me zoom it up a little bit. You can see the location information. The visitor is from London, Great Britain. And the region code, the postal code. I have to make a little minor change to this. Before it was showing just the city and the postal code. I just needed to show them the IP address so that way we can see how this all work. And the pages actually shows you all the pages we were clicking on. Shows that details. And the goals, well, we visited the team page. We got two points for that one. Any campaign? No campaigns. What's the pattern card? Well, since we clicked on the developers and we clicked on the glossary and things like that, it tagged us as a developer. That's a segmentation that applied for this. That's it. So if we wait another 2 minutes, you have any question?
On the website, if this is being shown, is this using some sort of an analytics API?
Yes.
For real-time data?
Yes, this uses Sitecore GeoIP Services, and we have to sign.
Not the location, but the pages that you browsed currently.
Yes.
All of those are using the Sitecore Analytics.
Sitecore Analytics, yes, and it's already been set up in Sitecore digital marketing, the marketing control about what is the pattern needs to be. If they click around, what pattern they fit to it, so they can fit to that particular persona that is being defined for the site, and what type of codes. It has been already been set for this one. So we can go to the back end to take a look at it.
This is a sample application which Sitecore ships, right?
Yeah, it doesn't ship, it's already readily available. You can go to launchsitecore.net, you can download the package from there. It's available if you guys have the license, and like anyone can download that. It's not available. Like, there are other demo sites like Jetstream. Being a partner, you can go to the Sitecore Partner Network to download them. But this is available, right, for anyone to download. I think it's a little close to a minute. Let's see. But I think this might be timing out too.
So you are using the MongoDB in your
Yes, let me, while we are talking about that, let's actually jump to Mongo database. By the way, I use a tool called, OnGoYou tool called RoboPanda. RoboPanda is there are two visualization tool available. One is MongoView and RoboPanda. We started using MongoView for a while, but what I really like about RoboPanda is like it actually gives you the query syntax, and then you can actually enter them right in the window to see more data about it. So let's say, for example, this is the tool that I'm using. I don't know that I can zoom it.
Control plus.
Work.
Magnify.
There's no any zooming tool. Sorry about that. So looking at analytics database here and in the collections, when you click on GeoIP, it shows you all the documents that is available. That's kind of like right click and you can view the document, or you can expand them too. When you see this, it shows you the GeoIP data for this area code. All those informations are over here, and when this was fetched, the date that is fetched. And you can also expand them. You can view as this mode, tree mode, or you can do it in the results mode like this, or you can do them in the document mode. It shows you all the documents. Should be working by now. Oh, there you go. So it just stored that visitor information here, and an anonymous visitor came in, and it's unknown, so we don't have the information yet. They're just browsing through the website, and how long they were in the site, and when this was the recency of the site, that when the visitor was in the site and how long ago. And you can see that, and you can see that there was like a 4 days ago. You can see someone on them 10 days ago. So let's look at this visitor. And it shows you the same information that we saw in the launch Sitecore site, where the pattern card that matches and the activity. So there were actually two activities. There was one before this too. And it shows you all the pages that we visited. We looked at Rana Trial, we looked at Casey, Miss Castle, and we looked at the cluster. You can see all the information over here. And you can see that we visited the team page, so we collected this 2-point engagement. So let's do the same thing. Either let's try to go and register here. Okay. So go in. Now when I click it, the session has ended. So you can see that on the page, there's no data. That's like that session is ended. So now it's all a brand new visit. It's a new interaction to the site. And the new interaction and the location information shows just the IP address because the data is already been cached. There's no pattern. There's the same visitor, so you know what their pattern card they matched. It's a developer pattern. So there will be some personalization also be available on the site. I believe.
That widget on the right you are clicking, is that
Yeah.
something that launch site code actually put there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, launch cycle already had this widget, visit detail widget. All I did was just add a few more fields here to show that the IP address and the code, the region, and the country code, things like that. Yeah. So now let's go and log in, register actually.
That somebody from the same IP address logs in with another device. So-
It will be a brand new contact. It will be a different contact.
Yeah, but will you be able to personalize it based on the historical information
It's
from
a-
another device?
No. Oh yes, you can do that from a different device. If the same user logs to the site, and then we don't know who they are, right?
Right.
Once they register, then we know who they are.
No, but based on the persona, you know the persona, right? And you know the contact is coming from a so-and-so IP address.
Yeah.
Because when you, let's say, if somebody is working at home and he is using multiple devices, the IP address that you get is the same IP address, correct?
Yeah, but it is a because different devices, it's a different session. But if you register it and you log in, then you go to any device, it knows that it is the same
Yeah,
person.
but registration I can easily identify. I'm saying anonymous user. So,
No,
will you be able to-
I think, no, Suresh can answer probably, I mean.
Yeah. If they come, say in the office, you have one IP address that goes on, right? Like there's two people accessing the site. One person is fit to one type of persona. If another person is accessing it, it will be a completely different visit or completely different contact, because the cookie, that visitor cookie is per device and per session, like per browser. But if the visitor, the same visitor, accessing from a different devices and they log in, then now you can connect the previous visit in a browser into a visit in the mobile one. Now the different channels. So you can, if you go to the experience profile, it tell you the visit from mobile device for the same contact and the visit from the regular browser.
Yeah,
It's the same, if the same IP address, but if once they register, now you know what the contact is. Until that is, either they can click a link. Say for example, you do a campaign. So you browse around in the regular browser, and then we send out an email campaign to that contact. But that device is not being registered for this contact. But if they click a link, now you know then that, like, because we send them an email campaign for that contact, and they click the link from a different device, now that registers to that same contact card as a different channel they access the site. That's how we know it. But if they are coming anonymous, it will be considered as an anonymous.
Anonymous, a different contact.
Different
Yeah.
contact card,
Yeah.
yes.
but persona is different. Persona,
It's basically a group of interactions probably you're combining.
right, so someone
You're
can be
categorizing somebody.
identified as certain persona. So if you are coming from a different device, your persona can be completely different.
All right, let's go and register here. Let's say Cincinnati Sitecore User. And password is RW email. Alright, so they registered the site, and let's look at the information. And they just went to the home and they just registered. And let's kind of click around. Go to the glossary section. Let's go to strategy session. Now we look at maybe multiple languages here. What does that mean to us? What's the workflow mean to us? And as you can see that this page, we've been getting some page trackings here. And then as you can see, there are some 3 goals actually executed. It shows the visitor the team page, they did the registration, but the registration didn't gain any engagement points, whereas the add a favorite. So we probably clicked on a link called add a favorite, so that got like 10-point goal. So let's patiently wait for another 2 minutes until that get executed. But as you can see that like before I was registering while we were talking, like one of the session ended. So you're probably going to see another visit in the contact card. So let's go. But it's still the same, it's an unknown visitor now. The anonymous visitor is converted into an unknown visitor because we got 2 visits on that same person. And now when you click on it, it's going to give us, I believe, 3. There was 1 empty, 1 on the first. Yes, there you go, 3 of them. And when you click on it, it shows you that that we went and we sat in the register page for a little while. So that's what it is. And I should be seeing in a minute. Sorry, Madhuri, I'm like 10 minutes over. Wrap it up here.
You are not allowing me to blow the socks up.
Yeah. You're gonna be patiently waiting for it.
It's all your fault.
Come on. Like a happy clicker here. So until we keep clicking this won't night time out, so we won't be able to log. We don't need to log in again. Although this is also a timeout. We don't do that. Almost there. Maybe I should set the timer to 1 minute. 2 minutes seems to be very long.
Is that you can minimum can be a minute?
I think so.
Okay.
Alright. Maybe another half a minute, I guess. There you go. So, same visitor, and now an anonymous visitor became an unknown visitor, and now since they registered, they've established that identified. This is an identified contact who have given their personal information, they have given their login, their name, and things like that. And then now you can look at more information about that user. Like see that the name shows up, their email address. You can click on more info, which is nothing but going to the details tab. You can look at the same thing, their first name and the last name and the email address. Looking at the activity tab, now I'm just going to show them the 4 visits, the 4 interactions that they had, this contact has established. And looking at this visit, so it's just that the different goals that was achieved by this 2-point goal for boosting the team, and then the registering. Actually, the registering also gave us like a 10-point engagement values here. In total, you should be able to see the total engagement values here somewhere. Oh yeah, by the way, the profiling is where it shows that what pattern they were matching. We said that it matched the average here, like the best pattern match, the content owner. I think there were like a few other ones, but this one is it matched to a content owner pattern match. Okay, so this shows the different persona that we have, right? They matched as a 76% as a content owner, but they also match like 12% as a developer and additional non-present. Depends upon the different pages that we click. So based on the weightage, we can do a persona. Like they kind of like cross-pollinate between a developer and a content owner. So we don't know what they were really using, but based on the weightage, we can do some personalization for them. Let's quickly take a look at the database actually. And if I refresh this, let me look at the interactions here. I can go and look for that interaction. I have a sample syntax here. There's a quick syntax that I can do by looking at the contacts. The contacts is probably established. So if you can say that if I see any emails that exist, true. There will be some anonymous visitors here. So we just wanted to look at all the document that has some email address here. That reduces the number. And probably the last one is the one just established when you're doing the demo. So say Cincinnati Sitecore User, their personal information, you can see them here. Their behavior profiles shows up here as well. And the number of values, for each list, for the values that gained, there's a 2 point here, there's a 5 points, there's a 9 points. So the total engagement value, we can do some personalization based on the accumulated engagement value. So that's it. That concludes our initial presentation about experience profile. As you guys all know, my name is Suresh Devanan, Sitecore MVP for 2015. That's my email address and my Twitter handles are there. Make sure you guys follow me. All right. Thank you.